Hello all and welcome back to another stream. So it's a Saturday. I hope you guys are having a very good weekend and enjoying yourself. AJ, how's everything with you? I know that off air you were saying about it might be a little bit too hot for you.
Yeah, over here in England, it's almost 40 degrees. We're not used to this weather, and the houses aren't designed for that either. They're very well insulated, so it's like a sauna. I'm in my house at the moment, so yeah, it's not nice. I'm sat here sweating, but it's all right. We move.
Yeah, but for the content, we push ahead anyway. And
Yeah.
for all of you guys in the US, just a heads up, like 40 degrees is actually really hot because we're talking Celsius, not in Fahrenheit. I know the
Yeah,
UK
not
is
Fahrenheit.
cold, but we don't sweat at 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
We're a little bit stronger than that. But anyway, so today what we have quite a lot actually to cover off.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about what's going to be happening, what has happened, I should say, for the last week and what will be happening for next week. So I'm not really going to wait around for too long. First, though, AJ, what should people do about the channel if they haven't already subscribed?
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, and if you are new to the channel, and please smash a like on this video as well. It does really help us out.
Absolutely. There we go. So just looking at, traditional news, NASDAQ up, we see stocks are up as well, which generally is quite good. George Soros, the guy who broke the Bank of England, made over $1 billion in a single trade. Absolute weapon he is. He's reloading on big tech with Amazon, Google, and new Tesla bet, which actually I think is relatively good because it kind of shows that sentiment more into the NASDAQ and into these risk on assets as worries about the economy in the US kind of begin to slow down, which I think is obviously a very, very good thing. Now I'm going to talk about Ethereum, the Ethereum merge. What we will do, maybe we just quickly, should we touch on some of the TA just very quickly, and then we come back and look through what it is that we're going to see in terms of the merge, but then also what we can look forward to for next week. AJ, do you want to quickly bring that up?
Yeah. We're looking at Ethereum TA.
Yeah, let's go for Ethereum.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just bring that up. Yeah. So Ethereum did actually come and test $2,000 at approximately.
Number.
Sorry.
That's a big number, and
Yeah.
I think it's very psychological, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I was about to say that a big psychological level, that $2,000 level, and that's why I think we could see rejection from this level as well. It does also line up with the resistance level. I think people are going to be taking profits from this level as well, this $2,000 level. But yeah, we came up to $2,020, testing this resistance that you can see up here. As of right now, we are getting a very slight rejection, but there is a possibility we could come back up and test this resistance and break above it, of course. As you can see, resistance previously at this level, so it is going to act as resistance, and it is going to take some nice volume to get above this level. But what we are seeing on the Ethereum charts as of right now is we are seeing this rising wedge. So we are getting a lot of resistance at the top of the wedge and a lot of support at the bottom of the wedge. And we are testing that resistance as of right now, lining up with this resistance level here as well. Now, what do I anticipate that is going to happen? I do think we are going to get a rejection from this resistance. Looking at the volume, we are seeing a decrease in that volume. This is indicating to me that the bulls are running out of that steam. So we do just have to sort of be aware of that, and we could get a rejection from this level. But if we do break above it, then that does invalidate this rising wedge pattern, which would be a very bullish scenario. Looking at the indicators, we can see that we are in that sort of very overextended region on the stochastic and the stochastic RSI, and even on the RSI. You can see that on the RSI, we have dipped above 70. We still have this bearish divergence as well that is in place. So you can see that we are forming those higher highs on the price action charts, but on the RSI, we are getting momentum towards the downside. We are forming those lower lows, which is a textbook bearish divergence. So we could see a rejection from this resistance because of this bearish divergence, and the indicators are very overextended, so they do need a pullback. And for me, That means that the price will most likely pull back to this support level here. So I do think the region of the $1,800 level, between the $1,800 level and the $1,850 level, is sort of where we will pull back to, testing the support level. If we do break this support, that is incredibly bearish for Ethereum. We could see lows again of 1,400, and worst case scenario all the way down at approximately $1,040. But again, we do have more support coming in. We do have this major blue support here. Blue support levels are tend to be very well, I put them on the charts as very strong support, because previously you can see lots and lots of support before breaking below this level, and before breaking above this level we did also get lots of resistance here as well. So it is going to be a critical level for Ethereum, and it is going to take a lot for Ethereum to break below that level as well. So if we do break below this yellow support level, then there is this support level that could potentially hold us up. But if we did break this blue support, I do anticipate that we are going to come down to 1,400 as that sort of that first take profit point. And then potentially all the way down to $1,040. And again, you know, that would most likely reset these indicators, reset the RSI, the stochastic and the stochastic RSI, which is what we want. You know, we want those indicators to reset. But again, if we did break the support, then we would come lower. But what we would really like to see for the bullish case is the price to come down to this yellow support, find support at the yellow support, indicators resetting there, and then seeing that bounce and the break of the resistance. But again, you know, if we break the supports, then we are most likely going lower. So that is what I'm looking at for Ethereum right now.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, I'm going to bring you up, you know, kind of some of the fundamentals. I think
Yeah,
that if the Emerge probably will provide this, just because I think there's a lot of cash sitting on the
yeah,
sidelines. And you can see here, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin and pretty much all the other coins, apart from obviously Solana, which is kind of crazy. Like Solana keeps going through all of these little like hacks, and they have a lot of downtime, and you know the price
yeah,
does fall, but it just, you know, it hasn't like crashed. Like, you know, obviously nothing more than all of the other altcoins have.
yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It is, yeah. You know, I do believe in Solana for the long term as well. I just think
Yeah.
they do need to sort out sort of all their blackout issues.
Yeah, they do. They're just like, they get hacked and then they're not online, and then, you know, it's like,
Yeah,
right, okay, disaster. But here are some of the top 5 misconceptions about the anticipated Ethereum upgrade. So just it kind of clarifies a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes at Ethereum. So number 1 misconception, we see that Ethereum gas fees will reduce after the merge. Well, not true. So Ethereum's impending upgrade will reduce Ethereum's infamous gas fees. Transaction fees is one of the biggest misconceptions circulating among investors. While reduced fees tops every investor's wish list, the merge is a change of consensus mechanism. There are 3 layers that make up a blockchain, guys. And so the consensus mechanism is the only thing that's kind of being changed, and the transactions happen on a different layer, should we say.
yeah,
So it's only this consensus mechanism that is going to be changed. But I do think that we are going to have a lot more, you know, the different kind of scaling solutions that are available, you know, through Ethereum. You know, obviously those are helping in reduce those gas fees. Instead, lowering gas fees in Ethereum will require working on expanding the network capacity and throughput. Developer community is currently working on a roll-up centric roadmap to make transactions cheaper. Now, just to kind of add to this, one thing that I want to mention here is Polygon's co-founder. He told Telegraph that ZK EVM, it's Ethereum virtual machine, and ZK is zero knowledge. So zero knowledge rollups are pretty well known. EVM is just Ethereum virtual machine, if you haven't heard of that before. A new scaling solution for Ethereum will allow smart contract protocols to outpace Visa. And so this is where he mentioned this. It was a while back, you know, 29th of July, but saying that this will now allow Ethereum to outpace Visa, which is, I think it's pretty cool, actually. You know, to have something like this would be actually pretty insane, and also reduce Ethereum fees by about 90%. Do you think
that
it's
would.
kind of like time for a bit of a change in the, you know, having actually using a crypto to, you know, like, I guess, pay for stuff, you know,
Uh,
actually act like a
that's
cryptocurrency?
that's the next stage, isn't it? That's sort of what we're waiting for, I think. And once people realize that, it can be used as a payment method, then they can start using it as a payment method as well.
Yeah, and do you know what? I guess I've been sleeping on this slightly because I've been kind of always thinking, well, in terms of Ethereum, I've seen it almost exclusively as a smart contract platform, which is obviously
Yeah.
what the primary focus is. And I've never thought that, well, I guess probably because of the transaction fees, obviously, I've never thought that it would ever be viable as like an actual, currency that we use to change, value of goods. But I don't know. I think there are others which are much cheaper and require a
Yeah.
lot less work to try and make it work. It's like trying to put like a square brick in a round hole,
Yeah.
Like probably can be done, but you have to shave a lot of stuff off, and it's probably a
Yeah.
bit of work. So
I could never see Ethereum as used as a payment method.
no,
Maybe if they sorted a 90% decrease in fees, potentially.
oh yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
But I
if we
know
do,
I know I know Cole the Moon. I think a lot
oh
of
yeah,
people are aware of him. I know that
yeah,
he
yeah.
uses Ethereum a lot to buy stuff. I know he bought his Bugatti with Ethereum, which confuses me a little bit because I'm sure the gas fees on that would have been very, very expensive.
Yeah, that's just an
Um,
unnecessary flex. Just take your money
yeah,
off the exchange.
yeah, yeah.
That's it.
So
Yeah, and I
Ethereum
think he also
payment
bought that in
methods.
Dubai.
Sorry,
I think he also bought that in Dubai,
he
which
did. Yeah, he
yeah, I'm
did.
surprised that that they would accept Ethereum, especially a couple of years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that
But
was
yeah,
about a year ago, I think.
yeah,
Maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, it
yeah.
would have been very expensive. So Ethereum payment, using Ethereum for a payment method, I don't think I think they're a very long way from that at this moment in time. Sort out
Yeah,
the merge first before even thinking about that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's just focus here. Vitality.
Yeah,
But misconception number two: it's Ethereum transactions will be faster after the merge. Again, it's like I said, it's kind of only like the consensus mechanism that we're changing here. But it is safe to assume that Ethereum transactions will not be noticeably faster. However, there is some truth to the rumor. The beacon chain, which is what everything is moving onto, allows validators to publish a block every 12 seconds, which on the mainnet is roughly every 13.3. So that's it's not great. It's not that much of a difference. And also, I wouldn't really want to be sitting around waiting for 12 seconds after I've paid for something for the payment to go through, and then for them to be like, "Oh yeah, that's okay." And again, another reason why payment systems has always just been very like kind of out in the wild for me. Number three is will result in some downtime. Absolutely, kind of not true. Here we go. The developers anticipate no downtime as blocks transition from being built using proof of work to proof of stake. Misconception number four: investors will be able to withdraw staked Ethereum after the merge. So you will be able, it depends on what type of what's it called, protocol or whatever it is that you have them staked on. But withdrawal of staked Ethereum holdings will be made available during the next major upgrade after the merge, known as the Shanghai upgrade. As a result, the asset will remain locked for at least 6 to 12 months after the merge. And this, to be honest, guys, this is why, we had a lot of these 3 Arrows Capital, Celsius, all of these guys getting a lot of trouble because they were like, well, hang on, if I can trade my Ethereum and get staked Ethereum, then that's fantastic because, I've got, remember then when they weren't trading 1 for 1, they were trading like 1 for like 0.9 or whatever it was. And so, you could get more staked Ethereum back just by giving your Ethereum into the Curve liquidity pool. But
yeah,
when someone comes and says, hey, you need to pay me, you have no Ethereum. You've only got staked Ethereum that's kind of now, it's not worth that much. And you can't
no.
get your money out for another 6 to 12 months after. So, that's one of the reasons why we did begin to see that. And also that validators will not be able to withdraw Ethereum rewards till the Shanghai upgrade. So as the fee compensation will not be newly issued tokens, it will be available to the validator immediately. And so, yes, just looking through here then, set to become also, just wanted to mention this, Ethereum is set to become deflationary post-merge. If any of you have comment this if you can. I know there's a website, I've seen it, I just can't remember the name of it or find it for that matter, where you can actually see the burn rate, you can see the Ethereum generation, and it's like these 3 different boxes, and it's really cool. And then you can go either like currently or you can go post merge, and it just shows the amount of Ethereum at the moment that's being created versus being burnt is more. So we have the money printer on, should we say, but that's set to basically flip after the merge. And I think that's why people are so excited, because we will be burning more Ethereum than we are making. So it will become deflationary, which is actually going to be really, really good for the price. Obviously, supply and demand, and there we go. You still have probably a higher demand, actually. But even if you have the same and you have less supply, it's going to go up in value. So just looking through a couple of the cryptos here, we have obviously seen a nice little push to the upside. Do we want to have a look at, are there any other coins that you want to touch on for the technical side before we go through what to expect next week?
Yeah, we can have a quick look at Bitcoin. There's a new pattern that I found on a 4-hour, and then what was there? We'll have a look at Matic. Matic's had a breakout, and then I'll update you on the Solana trade, which I gave you over on Twitter. So
Charlie's just said that I'm probably going to sell my ETH at the merge and buy more Solana.
Okay.
Solana's not bad. I do quite like Solana.
Yeah. So
I think it's the proof of history that, that integration of proof of history.
Yeah.
That for me, it just seems very advanced. Maybe it's just because I don't understand it properly.
Yeah, and, so Solana is sort of one that I could see being used for payments. Maybe not for all payments, but because it's so quick, and there's a massive
high rate of
throughput as well, which
exactly.
I could see that being used as a payment method. We'll see how that goes though. But yeah, looking at the Bitcoin charts, this is a 4-hour Bitcoin chart. We do have this rising wedge pattern on the 4-hour chart. We also have it on the 12-hour, a bigger one on the 12-hour, and there's also one on the 8-hour as well. 12-hour and 8-hour, they are the same one. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But what I'm looking at on the 4-hour, I did say there was a bearish divergence yesterday. We did get a slight pullback, not yesterday, sorry, so 2 days ago, and we did get that slight pullback, and we established this support level here on the 4-hour. So had support previously back on the 10th of August. And on the 12th of August, we found support, which was yesterday. We found support along this level again, and we saw a nice bounce. We have now established a resistance level. We can see that this bearish divergence here has turned into a resistance level, this trend line here. And we have had 3 touches, and today we are getting a rejection from that level. As you can see on the RSI, we are getting that momentum towards the downside still, and we are getting price action towards the upside on the Bitcoin chart. So textbook bearish divergence. Lining up with this rising wedge is, a very, very bearish sign. However, again, we could hold support at this support level, and even come and test the resistance and break that resistance again, invalidating this. But if we were to break the support level, then I do think there is a nice little trade here for Bitcoin as well. So you can draw this up on your charts. Looking at the indicators, they are coming down from that very overextended region, but there is still room towards the downside, meaning that we could break towards the downside out of this rising wedge on the 4-hour. So what I'm looking at is also the volume. We are seeing a decrease in volume as well, which is also a bearish sign in that short term, because it looks like in the short term the bulls are running out of steam as well. So if we were to break towards the downside of this rising wedge, I'll be looking at the first target at around $23,660 here as the first TP. And then the second TP would be down here at $22,800. Only if we were to get that break towards the downside. And as I said, we've got lots of indicators indicating a push towards the downside. We've got the bearish divergence, we've got this rising wedge, and the volume is decreasing, and also the indicators are coming down from that overextended region. So that's what I'm looking at on the 4-hour. On the 8-hour, again, we still have this rising wedge. Yesterday, we did actually come back up and try and retest this resistance. However, today we are getting that initial rejection from the resistance. Looking at the indicators, it does look like we are going to pull back down to this support level, this blue zone that I did mention, because the indicators are in that overextended region. We are still forming that bearish divergence on the 8-hour as well. We can see only very slight momentum towards the downside, but initially it is momentum towards the downside. downside and price action towards the upside on the price action chart. So a pullback back down to the support is something I do think is going to happen over the course of this weekend. 12-hour, exact same scenario. Looking at the volume on the 12-hour, we are seeing that decrease in volume. So the bulls, it looks like the bulls are running out of steam a little bit because we are forming these high highs. But yeah, we did find support on a support level yesterday. Indicators are in that oversold region. They're not too oversold yet, same with the RSI, but again, we are seeing that bearish divergence on the RSI. We are getting that momentum towards the downside and price action towards the upside. But what is holding us up as of right now is this support level here, this blue support. You can see we did find support as of yesterday. This was a major resistance level, as you can see. After breaking above it, we have retested it as support, and we have had a nice bounce, and that's what is holding the price up as of right now. But I do think we are going to come back, retest the support, and we could potentially break the support. And if we do break the support, we will most likely break the support at the bottom of the rising wedge as well, this yellow support here. If we were to break that, then we're looking at the $21,000 level and potentially the $19,300, $400 level approximately as those take profit points. This $21,000 level is a major level because between the $21,000 level and $21,700 level, there is major support. So that's why I would be taking some profits around here if we did break towards the downside, because you can see major resistance previously. We broke above it, we used it as support and saw a nice bounce. So this would be a very strong support level if we were to come back down and test it again. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Indicators, that there is room towards the downside, and we are getting these bearish patterns, bearish divergence, volume is decreasing, and this rising wedge. So I do think we are going to come down and test the support again. If we do break it, there's a good opportunity to get in a short position, taking profit. First TP around 21,000, then second TP around 19,400 approximately. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin as of right now. We will take a quick look at Matic because Matic has had a nice breakout today. As you can see, this major resistance level. We have had that initial break towards the upside, but it's not a clean break towards the upside for me because if we have a look at the volume, we are getting that decrease in volume as well, as you can see here. So it does look like the bulls are running out of steam as well. And there wasn't a major spike in volume when we did get this breakout. I would have liked to see a nice big spike in volume like we saw back here, these two big spikes. I would have liked to see that much volume for a confirmed breakout, because then, we can pull back, get that retest with that decreased volume, let the indicators reset, hopefully finding support, and then get that move towards the upside. But because we haven't seen much volume, I think this could potentially turn into a fake out, and we could come back down to the supports, potentially breaking that support level and seeing those lower targets, which would be around $0.75. So yeah, just be aware with Matic, because it does look like it could be a fake out. Now, we could find support along this level, yes, and we could bounce off that level. Now, that is a great opportunity to long if we did bounce off the level. But again, we're not seeing the volume I'd quite like to see, and the indicators are in that overextended region as well. And we can also see that sort of bearish divergence as well forming on here. So we are seeing that momentum towards the downside on the RSI, and you can see price action is going towards the upside on the price action chart. So that's what I'm looking at for Matic. Just to pull back down to the support. If we do break it, I think we are going to come back down to the support and potentially break that support level. Solana, I did give you a trade over on Twitter, this Solana trade, because we did get a break towards the upside and we did get the pullback. The pullback gave us a great entry point here, and we have seen a nice increase in price from that retest. It did increase to about 13, almost 14%. We are sat at around 9% as of right now. But I did take profit on this trade at this resistance level here when we were touching this resistance, because it has been major resistance previously, as you can see. So it was going to take a lot for Solana to get above that level. As of right now, we are seeing that rejection. And there is still a possibility we could come and hit the target of $56 approximately, but the indicators are overextended. So I do think a little pullback before the next run towards the upside, if we do get that run, because obviously if we see Bitcoin pull back, we see Ethereum pull back as well, Solana will most likely pull back. So I have moved that stop loss to break even as well. So I bagged some profits up here, so I know that I cannot lose on this trade. So that's sort of all I've got for you on the technical side of things. And yeah, as always, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section of what coin you would like me to do some TA on for you. I think you muted yourself, Ben. There we go.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. So obviously, yeah, follow us on Twitter to kind of see what different trades are coming up and how it is that we're going to be trading these. That's where we post pretty much everything, to be honest. So Charlie Thompson says radium is something he's interested in. I will quickly go through what to expect for next week. So next week, economic calendar, just looking at, TradFi, we're seeing not a huge amount if you're in the Eurozone. So, we did have the GDP from the UK that came out last week. So I believe on that 16th is a Tuesday. So Tuesday, we see coming out employment change and unemployment rate from the UK. Eurozone sentiment, from economic sentiment, I should say, Germany, Canada core inflation. I mean, Canada are actually, obviously relatively big into crypto, but in terms of an economy, they don't really move the market like the US. No one does, to be honest. But obviously, I think the reason why they're into crypto is because they actually have ETFs that are like, you can actually buy an ETF there. But not in the US, which I think kind of pulls the US back, to be honest. But then we do have FOMC Minutes, which is actually going to be quite interesting. So kind of excited to see about this. For anybody who's unsure exactly, what this means. So in the United States, the authority to set interest rates is divided between the Board of Governors and the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC. The board decides on changes in discount rates, blah, 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 blah. FOMC decides on open market operations, including desired levels of central bank money and desired federal fund market rate. This basically, they're going to have a meeting, and then we're going to find out what are the minutes, that's basically like notes from said meeting. And that just kind of gives us a bit of an indication. How do they feel? Have they said, everybody, we should be panicking? Because then we will be anticipating a higher basis point rate, basis point rate hike. I don't know if I said that right, probably ruined that. But you know what I mean? The rate hike decision is going to come as partly a result of what happens in this meeting. So we want to see the minutes from said meeting to find out what's going to happen. But I think, to be honest, I don't think they're going to change their tune. I think we're probably going to go for, I think the best thing is probably going to be a 75 basis point hike. But, most likely scenario is a 50 basis point hike. As you can see here, 69%, which has come down from that 75. But that's the most likely scenario that we're going to get. And that will come out on Wednesday. And then, later on in the week, not really too much. Core inflation for Eurozone area. The Euros, they do you know what's crazy? They've increased their Fed fund rate far too late. I just think they're absolutely insane. They were still buying bonds 2 months ago. Stop printing money. You're going to have a serious issue. You've just seen the US go through 9% inflation, and here you are still buying bonds. Relax, It's absolutely insane. But anyway, so that's kind of what to look out for next week. Obviously, we are going to be looking, and in terms of actual crypto events like upgrades to main nets and stuff, there's actually nothing going on. So yeah, I think the main thing is just going to be make sure that you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you watch out on Wednesday. There will be a bit of volatility because of the FOMC meeting and also retail sales. So ideally, we want these to go down. We want people to not be spending money. We want almost kind of like a contraction in the economy, because then that gives the Fed some confidence that, you know, they've tamed some of this crazy money that's just been flying around the US after they printed X amount of dollars. So the overall kind of vibe here, guys, is just be, you know, always use a stop loss, always use protection.
Yeah.
But we're going to be mainly looking at a lot of technicals apart from Wednesday. So obviously for the technicals, you need to follow us on Twitter. Do you want to have a quick look at Radium?
Yeah, I've just done some quick TA on that. Looking at the daily, there's nothing too exciting on the smaller time frames. On the 4 hour, there is a very slight, if I show you quickly, there is a very, very slight bearish divergence. So we're seeing price action towards the upside here, and then momentum towards the downside on that RSI. So that's why we are getting a slight pullback in that shorter term. And I do think this pullback will come back down a little bit more because the indicators haven't fully reset yet. But what I'm looking at on the daily is this triangle pattern, as you can see here. And as of right now, we are getting a rejection from the resistance up here. Looking at the indicators, it looks like we are in the overextended region on the stochastic RSI, on the stochastic, and on the RSI at that 60 level. So getting to that overextended region. So I do think a potential pullback back down to the support is something that is very likely. Obviously, it's going to depend on what happens with Bitcoin. If we break above that pattern on Bitcoin, if we break towards the upside of that pattern on Bitcoin, then I think the likelihood of it is we could break towards the upside on this pattern on Ray as well. But if we do break towards the downside on Bitcoin, we probably will most likely break towards the downside of this triangle pattern on Ray. So I will just I'll keep you updated with this as well. So I do think a pullback back down to the support level around the 0.85 level is something that is pretty realistic right now. And I do anticipate that because, as I said, indicators sort of in that overextended region, and we are getting rejection from this resistance. So just be aware of that. And this will be a good trade if we get a break towards the upside or a break towards the downside. Obviously, we do want to see that nice spike in volume, potential retest as well. So yeah, I can keep you updated on this as well.
There we go. Quick question though, AJ, did you enter the short trade on Link?
Not yet because it's not confirmed. Looking at it now, this is textbook what we are seeing right now. So what we are actually seeing is let me just
It's a madness.
Yeah, so let me just confirm that I'm getting the name of this right. So it's an exaggerated bearish divergence, which we are seeing here as well. But as I said, it's not confirmed. We still have to close this daily candle in the red, and we do have 11 hours left. So as you can see, we are forming this sort of double top pattern. If I just get we are forming this double top pattern here at this resistance at the yellow line. Now, what we are seeing here, a double top on the price action chart in confluence with price action towards the upside on the RSI. This is actually a textbook. Let me just draw this line in for you here. This is actually a textbook exaggerated bearish divergence. So it's sort of like a hidden bearish divergence. It's not as visible, but it is an exaggerated bearish divergence, which we are seeing here. RSI is in that very, very overextended region at 72, almost 73. Stochastic is very, very oversold. Stochastic RSI is also very oversold. So most likely tonight, if we do see this rejection, I am going to be entering in that short position. If I do want to trade this, I'm going to have to stay up quite late. So I will do that because this is going to be a very, very good trade, I do think. So I will keep you updated on Twitter with that as well. Obviously, it's a bit too late to go live. When this candle closes, I think it's about 1 o'clock in the UK time when it does close. So yeah, I will keep you updated on Twitter about that. But I do anticipate if this is a confirmed exaggerated bearish divergence, we do get a rejection from this resistance here, then I do think that the price could potentially come all the way back down to this major support level here around the $7.2 level. As you can see, previous resistance here, and we've used it as support as well. So it is going to be a major support level, and I do think that's it is going to come down to this level if we do see that rejection. As I said, indicators are very, very overextended, so a pullback is pretty necessary for Link right now. Obviously, we could break above it and sort of ignore all of these indicators and get even more overextended. I don't see that happening though, because then we would have a pretty substantial correction. I do think we are going to get a rejection from this resistance here. So I will keep you updated on Twitter. As always, head over to Twitter, make sure you follow us there, turn that bell notification on so you know when we are posting.
There we go. So I hope that does actually, kind of move to the downside. That would be a very, very nice trade, because there's not really too much in the way, is there?
No, there
isn't.
isn't.
That $7, region.
There isn't any real support. You could say at the $7.8 level, there's very slight support, because we've had a bit of, if I just draw that line in for you, we've had a bit of resistance previously. So you could talk about that level, potentially taking some
maybe like
profits
TP1
there.
or something.
Yeah, maybe as a TP1 and then TP2 down here. That's probably what I'll be looking at, to be fair. But yeah, this could be, a potential nice 20% move for Link if you are on, say, 1x leverage. But if you're on 10x, this could be I wouldn't suggest 10x leverage. It is a lot. But, a 200% move if you are using.
I'm going to be king of the world. 1,000 leverage.
Yeah, but I do anticipate this pullback if we do get a rejection, but only that confirms rejection from that level. So yeah,
there you go. Okay, guys. So make sure that you obviously subscribe to the channel, and be sure to follow us as we go through the week, kind of highlighting exactly what's going on in the crypto market. And as always, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. We'll happily get back to you.
And if you haven't liked the video already, please make sure you smash that like button. It really does help us out. And if you are new, smash that subscribe button as well.
And if you don't, AJ will come around to your house. No, I'm joking. Okay, have a good day, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and always use protection.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.